that I gotta come back here again with an even weirder story to tell y'all. What is going on? Like, why people be trying me, y'all? Is it because my voice too soft? So if you see this vlog right here, the Spain vlog where I spent 7 days in Spain, the truth is that did not originally start out as a solo trip. Consider this to be the backstory to that. Child, we gonna get right into it. So today's story is about how I had to leave a former friend in Spain on that trip and just end the friendship right there. It was a friendship of 8 years, but you know, wish her the best. Let's name this friend Coco. I'm not gonna give any context on that name. Just listen to the story. I met Coco in college, which was almost a decade ago, which is crazy. We noticed we had a lot in common, and immediately we just decided and just agreed on living together as roommates. So we lived together, went on a handful of trips together, concerts, birthdays, graduations, all that. A little bit of background about Coco. Coco is Eastern European. Sometimes, like when there was a break for the holidays and it was just too expensive for her to go back home to her family, she would spend Christmas with me and my family, or spend the holidays with me and my family. So Coco is not a stranger at all. And I'm adding this context because if you watch my last story time about a weird awkward girls trip, that situation, I feel like the issue was that me and that person, we didn't know each other at all. But Coco is not a stranger. Up until this trip to Spain, it had been 3 years since me and Coco had seen each other in person. Nothing had happened or anything, like, you know, life just be lifing. I went back to get my master's in Chicago. She went back to get her PhD in Europe. You know, just chasing our goals. Life just lifing. But we still kept in touch. And what was funny was she saw that I made a YouTube video about an awkward girls trip not too long ago. Go ahead and check that video out. It was funny, whatever. But she watched this video and said, "Sis, I'm cracking up. We got to do a trip together." So we agreed to, you know, create a trip and pretty much reunite in Europe. Like, I love a good European summer. It's just a vibe. Now, Spain was not necessarily my first choice, only because I had already been before. But Coco expressed to me, she was like, she really would love to see Spain. She's so excited about it. And I wasn't against that because the places that we were going to this time, I'd never been before. I had Ibiza on my bucket list. I never seen Barcelona, and I'm a Game of Thrones fan. I went back to binge Game of Thrones and realized that some of the scenes of Game of Thrones were filmed only an hour away from Barcelona. So that was going to be a quick day trip. So the way we arranged this Spain trip, I was super excited. We got Barcelona, we got Ibiza, we got Girona. We got 3 cities on this trip. A lot of ideas on what we want to do, places and landmarks we want to see, different clubs and, you know, restaurants we might want to check out. Like, we had just a list of things, and we made like this shared Google document that we could just, you know, throw things in there on what to do for each day. So super excited. Now, all these stories start with a red flag, and the red flag number 1 was before the trip even happened. And but like I said, this is somebody that I've known for, you know, years. But first red flag was when she revealed her true reason for picking Spain specifically. So Coco, I forgot like how we got on this topic, but she told me after we booked everything that she was just devastated because this guy she thought was going to be there isn't going to be in town. No, I'm like, well, the connection, you know, with this dude can't be that serious because, you know, otherwise y'all would have been planning this trip together. Or at least had that type of relationship where he would tell you when he's out of town and you would know that before picking those certain days. But I'm also lost on, why are you flying out on your dime to see a guy in another country that didn't even know you were coming? I didn't understand. I don't know, it was just weird. Coco was devastated, but I'm like, you know, there's other dudes there, you know, there's other things to see there, so much things to do. Like, I'm still excited. So I kind of, you know, just cheer her up, get her back on track. But in the back of my head, I'm just like, okay, can't be that serious. It's other guys there, it's other landmarks there, other activities there. I'm excited. So Coco's like, yeah, I'm excited. So we just get back to, you know, planning and just boosting up our excitement about reuniting in Spain and just having a ball in Spain. And the other thing that I noticed leading up to the trip, like Coco kept asking me, what am I packing? Like, am I packing heels? You know I'm wearing heels. Like, you know me. I'm like, it's an 8-hour flight. My check bag is included in the flight that I booked. Like, I'm definitely checking some luggage, and it's gonna have some heels in it. Stop playing with me. And you know, like a little formal dress or something, because you gotta stay ready, so you ain't gotta get ready. As women, like, obviously you want to know like what your homegirl is wearing, and you know, when y'all are going to the same place. But it was more so like I felt this energy that she was trying to like check my temperature and low-key communicate, like, Kelsey, don't come out there doing that usual extra stuff that you do. I don't like don't come out there doing the most like you like to do when you be traveling. But anyway, fast forward to day 1 of the actual trip. I get there first. I open the hotel door when Coco says that she's there, and immediately Coco is already on her phone, like got her phone open to some dating app, literally like right in the door, like not even like opening. I open the door, I'm thinking like she gonna be like, what's up, you know, sis, like it's been forever. She got, you know, her bags in one hand, her phone in the other hand, and this dating app on the phone. Like, I was talking to guys, I've been talking to guys. I'm like, hey, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, Coco, how you been? Like, I really couldn't take it seriously. I'm like, why do you have an app? Like, I might be a little biased already because I don't trust dating apps, but factor that into the fact that we are in a foreign country as 2 women. So it just adds another level of danger to the situation. So I'm just like, why are you on the app? Like, I really couldn't take it seriously. I'm thinking that she just, you know, looking for somebody to talk to because she's bored. But she's like, there's a lot of guys here. I'm like, yeah, that's not really, I'm like, that's just not, okay. All right, Coco, cool. Like, it's good to see you, mama. So like I said, this is day 1. You know, she busting through the door. You know, she done put guy number 1 in the past, and I'm gonna name him as guy number 1 because, you know, she was hoping to see, you know, a completely different dude who happened to be out of town during the time that we were gonna be in Spain. So now she says she's talking to this other guy, and like I said, we had a list of different places that we already kind of made up on where we would want to go for the night. Bars, clubs, all of that. Instead of that, she said, oh, he's telling us we should go to this bar, you know, instead, let's check it out, you know, he's gonna be there. And so already I'm like, I'm just not trusting the situation, only because this is somebody that I've known for 8 years. It was dangerous, it didn't make sense, but I'm like, all right, Coco, cool. So we get to this bar and he's not even there, but guess who is there? Roaches. Coco sits her jacket on this chair, right? And the chair is next to a wall where there's just a variety of Spanish roaches just crawling up the wall. Barcelona just got a variety of roaches. They got regular roaches, they got colorful roaches. It's sometimes you just gotta laugh to keep from crying, y'all. Okay, so we done diverted from the original plans that we had to check out the bars that we said we were gonna go to come to a bar and get stood up by whoever this person from the internet is supposed to be. And now I'm at a point where I'm helping my friend shake roaches out of her jacket. It's just day 1. That was day 1. All right, so fast forward to day number 2. This is the day we decide to just walk around Barcelona, kind of shop a little bit. So we're walking around and shopping. Scratch that, actually I'm shopping. Coco not spending no money, no shade, but that's just something I noticed. Got my little vlog camera, checking out the architecture, looking at the landmarks, just walking around, getting the content. Coco is running away from the camera. It's just something that I noticed. I'm like, girl, this video is not about you. Like, I just want to get, you know, the beauty of Spain. But she's running away from the camera like, we need a filter. Like, she said this out loud, talking about like on my camera if her face is in it. I'm like, I'm not even getting this content for you. Like, this is, I want to make a vlog. Like, I'm just vlogging. I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. For those of you who don't know, Spain has this really popular dish called paella. You'll see different versions of it in different Latin American countries. It's just basically like this big platter of rice and seafood. It's really, really delicious. And Coco expresses that, you know, she really wanted to try paella. You know, it's a popular thing. So we walked past a restaurant that serves paella, and Coco was like, no, no, we got to go to the place that the guy told us to go to. And she's talking about guy number one. But I'm like, what? Huh? We not going to eat somewhere because of a man that's not even here told you to go to? If y'all listening, y'all can keep count, but I'm not even gonna put a number on these red flags no more. But I was just like, what, girl? All right. So we walked past that restaurant because, you know, she just gotta keep her oath and only try paella at the restaurant that the original guy that's not here told her to go to, just to try that one dish of food. I don't know, whatever. Fast forward to the evening, we get ready to go out, and like I said, we had a list of places that we talked about going to. Instead of that, she wants to try to meet up with guy number two again, the one who stood her up the night before. I don't know what the situation was with that. Like, looking back, I don't even remember why he wasn't there at the first one. I don't know, but Coco was like, he's gonna be here this time, like he's gonna be here. And so here we go again. I'm trailing along, but I guess he wasn't there yet, but he told her he was gonna be there, but he wasn't there. So we went to a bar across the street. I didn't put this bar in the vlog because it just wasn't really worth putting in a vlog. But we get to this first bar. What I noticed right away is that we are significantly overdressed than the rest of the girlies. Me particularly, I stood out like a sore thumb. Like, I don't know how else to put it. You know, I'm a black woman. We got on heels, mini skirts. We just walked in there just looking exotic, if that's the best way to put it. And so here I am, minding my beautiful black business, sipping my little drinky drink, and this little white boy come over to me and just start talking to me. Emphasis on the word boy, because he had to be like 21, 22, no older than 22. So I'm already like, he just looked like he was born in 2000 something. So I'm just like I had no interest, you know, in him, but you know, like I'm bored, you know, like I'm just looking at him like, you can't do nothing with me. But okay, yeah. So this little boy is, you know, up in my face and talking to me, and all of a sudden his cousin comes over. She pulls him to the side, and in Spanish she says, stop talking to her, she's so ugly. Like, really? And I'm just like, first of all, I can understand you, but second of all, why you just lie like that? Like, that's a huge, ugly is crazy. Like, say what you really want to say. Like, I might be a lot of things, but ugly, that's just, you going to hell for that type of lie. Like, that's a whole lie. The hateration is very strong. Like, the hateration is very strong, and I knew it was gonna be strong because I came up in there like just standing out. I had on like a mini skirt and some heels, you know, these long caramel legs, just walking around, drawing attention. I don't look like nobody else that's from there. I just thought it was funny. And if I say what she looked like, first of all, I don't even remember what she looked like. It's like, if I saw her on the street today, I really would not know that it was her. And I don't like to speak on nobody else's looks, but it was really nothing to speak about. Like, she just didn't have nothing going on. Like, no lips, no hips, no nothing. Like, even her hair was bland. Like, if I looked like that and somebody that looked like me walked into the same premises that I'm in, I would be mad too. It was nothing to get confrontational about. I'm like, I'm not about to get into no conflict with this little girl about her cousin. I don't know if that was racism or jealousy, both, but what I do know is I ain't ugly, so why would you lie like that? So after she say that, I just switched the conversation to Spanish, because I'm like, baby, we all speak Spanish. And then Spanish Becky, she go around the corner and kind of like hide, and I'm just like cracking up in my head, because I'm like, for me to be so ugly, you definitely staring at me awful hard. Coco don't speak a lick of Spanish, so at this point she don't really even understand what's going on. But what's going on is, this is not the club that we said we were going to go to, not even on the list of bars that we said we were going to go to. We overdressed, you know, the vibe ain't right. We all around these kids, no shade. I tell Coco about the situation, we just laugh about it, you know. I laughed it off, whatever, you know. Haters gonna hate. Fast forward, Coco thinks that guy number two is at this club. She's like, I know he's here. Like, he's here. We go to this club, and I did put this club in the vlog. It was called Bling Bling. Not a bad club. So we at this club and we at the bar, and Coco tells me that she thinks she sees the guy that she had been talking to on the app. And so she was like, I think that's him. And I'm like, are you sure? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, well, why doesn't he come over to you? Are you guys talking to each other? She's like, I don't know. I'm gonna go up to him. I'm confused, y'all. I'm confused. I was like, why don't you make sure that that's him and send him a text or something so he can know that you're here. I'm like, does he know that you're here? Like, she's like, I don't know. I'm gonna go up to him. And I'm like, I just don't have a good feeling about this whole thing. A little bit about how this guy looks. Like, no shades of Coco. Coco is a beautiful woman, but he looked like the type that just only messed with like skinny tall white girls with blonde hair, and Coco don't really have that look. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it just, I didn't see this going in the right direction. I was just like, okay, all right, Coco, you know, good luck. She goes and approaches him, and you know, I just stay back at the bar drinking my little drinky drink, and he has a friend with him. She kind of like waves me to come over. I come over, I'm just kind of chilling. Me and the guy's friend are, you know, just do a little cheers toast, and you know, say hello to each other and start like a tiny conversation in Spanish. And I kid you not, like not even 2 minutes later, Coco's guy number 2, he taps his friend's arm, and then they just head out the club. He ain't say bye to Miss Coco or nothing. Like, he just leave. Coco don't say nothing to me. She don't look at me, and I'm like, Coco, what happened? She was like, I don't know, he just left. It was weird. It was weird, y'all. I don't know what that was. He left like 2 seconds after seeing her. I'm like, was that even him? Like, but she showed me the picture, and it was definitely him. Of the guy that she was talking to on the app. But I'm like, I'm lost on a lot of things. I'm lost on why you had to approach this man if he knew you were going to be here. I'm lost on why you had to. I'm lost on why you using a dating app anyway. I'm lost on why we chasing this person. Why I'm just lost. Like, where is this trip going, and why? I was lost. But we still stayed around this club that we really wasn't planning to go to in the first place. Guy number 2 is gone, and we still in a club, you know. And I guess she's still like reflecting on that weird situation. But this dude comes up to me. At this point, I'm already annoyed. I'm like, we went to a bar that just didn't fit our speed at all, and now we sitting up here at this club where, you know, my friend is, she embarrassed, and I know she was embarrassed because I was embarrassed just looking at the situation. So the secondhand embarrassment was strong, and now we still sitting here. This dude is in my face. I'm not really interested in men being in my face right now, but he comes up, and I'm just like entertaining him out of boredom because I'm like, what else do we do? But Coco was still kind of like standing by herself. He's like looking at Coco. He was like, oh, I got a friend for your friend or whatever. Why he bring somebody that looked like his geriatric uncle over there in my friend face? This old crusty man. I could just tell Coco was uncomfortable. And then the dude that's in my face says something sexual. I don't know, I forgot what he said. Something like, and we ain't gonna blame this on a language barrier or nothing. He said something like laying down with me, or I don't know what he said, but it made me want to slap him. So I'm like, okay, enough of this night, enough of this club, enough of this foolishness. I grab Coco's hand, save her from his grandpa, and I'm like, Coco, it's time to go. You know, this ain't it. This night ain't it. Just no. And as we leaving the club, we get outside the club, Coco asks me, do I want to take the bus back to the hotel with her? In my head, I'm like, did she just ask me, do I want to take public transportation at 3 in the morning in a foreign country in heels as 2 women? What's going on? And I brought this up before in a few videos. It's no shade to nobody's financial situation, but my tolerance is very low when it comes to people that don't prepare financially for a trip, because you knew that this trip was coming up, and the option to not do it was always there. You knew you was gonna need money for transportation, food, all of this, and everything that was discussed. So what's going on in your bank account that you would rather take public transportation at 3 in the morning as a woman in a foreign country just to save an extra $6? I was gonna make her take the taxi with me anyway, but I'm just like, why? What's going on? What's going on here? What's going on here? Like, So we get in the car and we in a taxi. I'm just ready to get back in my room and just rub my feet together after another night of foolery in Barcelona. While we in the taxi, Coco is back on this app, and this time she's not looking for another guy. She's zooming in on her pictures and talking about what happened at the club. She was like, I don't know what happened. That guy was weird. Like, do I not look like my pictures? Like, is it my pictures? Do I use too much filter? She started talking about guy number one again, and she was like, actually, the more I think about it, the days that he told me that he was coming back in town, he should be in town by now while I'm here. Like, asking me this question. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, I'm not answering that question. Like, Coco, I don't know. First of all, what was going on in that moment was like low-key sad. Not only am I just confused about how this whole night went, I'm even more confused on why you picking apart your appearance based on this random individual. It could have been him seeing his wife in a club. It could have been a language barrier. Maybe he got embarrassed and didn't understand what you were saying. Out loud, I'm like, Coco, close this app, please. Like, it's not, who knows why he left. Like, I'm like, it could have been anything. The first night he had you shaking roaches out of your jacket. You don't deserve that. And you know, she laughed at that part. And I'm just like, okay, he's weird. Let's stop centering this trip around men at this point and just go back to enjoying the trip, because it was never supposed to be about some random irrelevant man. The reason why he left the club is as irrelevant as him, because who is he? Like, we don't know. And so she laughed, and I'm thinking that, you know, from this talk that we having in the taxi, that she resonate with me and understand, like, all of that is irrelevant. Let's get back to having fun. Because the next day we go to Ibiza. I'm like, I'm excited about Ibiza. You know, we got clubs to see. It's the #1 party island. Like, let's just have a good time. And so, you know, she laughed, resonate with me, and we get ready for Ibiza the next day. So fast forward to day 3. So this is the day that we rise and shine and get up to go to Ibiza. Ibiza is like a 30-minute flight away from Barcelona, so it's like a weekend trip within a trip. So we get to Ibiza, and that first night we go out, and she was talking about how she didn't get approached by anybody in the Ibiza club. But I'm like, first of all, Coco, look around. There's not many straight men here. If you look at the vlog, like, I'm like, this is a place where it's like drag queens. So like, that's, who cares? We have a great time, we have a ball. But like I said, when weird stuff happens, I can't help but to notice it. And there was a creator on TikTok that said, watch out for those friends that act funny when it's time to take pictures of you. I kind of took it with a grain of salt, but it's something just about that stuck out to me, because what I noticed Coco doing was she didn't want to take any pictures for real, and then I asked her to take a picture of me. We went to High Ibiza, and they got like a cool like background, like little smoky area or whatever. It's real, you know, just islandy and tropical. It's cute over there, and I was looking cute, so I was like, okay, can you grab my picture, Coco? Coco has like low-key like an attitude at this point in the middle of the night, like, why do you want to take a picture here? It's just grass. I'm like, just, you know, just take it. And then she was like, here, snap one picture. Like, you know, us as girls, like, you at least like if a girl like hand me her phone and tell me to take a picture of her, I'm taking multiple pictures. I press the little shutter button, you know, multiple times just to get, you know, her little pictures and stuff. We on vacation. She snapped one picture and then, you know, just hand me the phone like, here, and like was low-key like had an attitude. And I'm like, she probably ain't even gonna remember this in the morning. Whatever. Fast forward to the next day, and this is the day that we do the boat tour, where we kind of like island hop. Just a nice like excursion and activity. At this point, you know, I'm definitely taking pictures. I'm back with my little camera out, getting the content, getting the islands, and just getting the beauty. We snorkeling, seeing the fish, just having a good day. It's like a little glass bottom boat. It was really a nice tour. Here go Coco doing that same stank attitude, weird thing again, kind of acting funny about taking my pictures. And I'm like, I don't understand why she was acting like that. I'm like, we not in a rush to go nowhere. We just sitting on this island for the full day. When you on an island, you take pictures. Like, what else is there to do but be cute, take pictures, and be happy? But that day was fun, so I wasn't tripping about all of that. The next day is our last day in Ibiza, and this is the day that we take the little 30-minute flight back to Barcelona later that evening, but we check out of the Ibiza hotel in the morning. So the checkout time is at 11, It is like 10:50ish. We're packed up, dressed up. I'm just doing a room check in the room. I noticed Coco, you know, out the corner of my eye, she's just moving a little, you know, just real antsy, like rushing. I don't know. But it's getting close to 11. We're leaving the hotel. Coco rushed out the door before me and get on the elevator. I don't know why she rushed out the door like that, but I was right behind her. So much to the point where I had to wait for the elevator to come back up because she already down. And I just got all my bags in my hand. And so I get in the elevator and I see that I got a missed call from Coco as I'm in the elevator. So I don't know if she was trying to call me because it didn't ring. I don't got no service. I'm in the elevator and we in a foreign country. So as I'm walking up to the front desk, I'm like, hey Coco, you called me? She's like, yes, hurry up. Whoa. I paused for a second like, girl, what? Like, whoa. But whatever. I walked to the desk, hand them my key and hand them my luggage because we're holding our luggage there until our flight back to Barcelona, which is later in the day. And I already kind of like peeped like a stank kind of attitude from Coco since we got to Ibiza. And now you getting to this point where you talking a little too crazy. But at the same time, I still couldn't take it seriously. So I walk out the door and I'm like, girl, what was that? I just said it just like that. I'm like, girl, what was that? She was like, you gotta hurry up. Like they were questioning me. They were at the door. They were questioning me. And I'm like, who was questioning you? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, I didn't know where you were at. Like, it's time for us to check out. The energy was just too much for the scenario. And so I just bust out and say, Coco, calm down. At this point, we leave in the hotel and our only plan was to go sit at the beach and be lazy and shop around until it was time for our flight hours later in the day. We had nothing that we were in a rush to do. We weren't late to the checkout time. And regardless of what's going on, who are you talking to? So I was just like, Coco, calm down. And then she repeated, she was like, you calm down. I'm like, no, you gotta calm down. And she just keeps like repeating what I'm saying. Like, no, you calm down, you calm down. And I'm like, huh? This is just getting too heated for no reason. So to best paint this picture so y'all can understand how ridiculous this is. To walk out of this hotel lobby that we were staying at, when you come out the door, you walk down stairs. So like, let's say the entrance of the hotel is at the top of the stairs and you walk down the stairs to leave the hotel and we're outside the door. So like, I'd already walked past Coco, so I'm on the step beneath her and Coco is like a step above me with her finger like this, like she my mama, talking about calm down. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm the one that's calm and you the one with your finger. I didn't like how it looked and I didn't like how heated it was getting. Nothing about this made any sense, but what I do know is Coco was tweaking. So like I said, she on a step above me. I got a little bit of height on Coco and I just didn't like how that looked. So I stepped on the step that Coco is on and I'm like, no, Coco, I need you to breathe and calm down. I'm calm. I'm like, little do you know, the way you talking to me, you about to accidentally fall down these stairs. But it don't got to get like that. But it felt like it was going to get like that. So I'm standing at the top of the stairs. We both standing at the top of the stairs. And I'm like, calm down. And I had this little beach bag on my shoulder. But I'm like slowly sliding it off, thinking I might have to slide Coco. And I don't even know why this is getting so heated in the first place. And I really wish I had more context to give y'all, but nothing happened leading up to this. Like, it's just me coming out the hotel lobby and Coco tweaking and me telling her to calm down and her just repeating what I'm saying. I don't know if she just one of the people that just forget what to say in the middle of an argument, so she just repeat everything that the other person is saying. But also, I don't understand why this is an argument in the first place. I don't understand nothing about what's going on right now. I don't understand why you've been acting this way. I don't understand what you're mad about. The only thing that I'm not confused about is the fact that you can't whoop me and you about to accidentally fall down these stairs. Stop tweaking with me. Like, I'm a very calm, collected person these days, but please, like, Coco, you can't whoop me. You know this, I know this, Jesus know this. Why are you doing this? So Coco stopped with her little finger when I get on the same step as her. She was like, I don't want to talk anymore, I'm done. And she started rushing down the steps and it get quiet for a second And I'm still at the top of the steps, like, you know, just standing there looking cute in my bikini and cover up with my little beach bag. Like, are you okay? And I said that out loud. Like, it was quiet. It was an awkward silence for a second as she's like speed walking down the steps. And I'm like, Coco, are you okay? And she paused for a second and she's like, no, like the way you look at how you're treating me. She's like, you're telling me to calm down. I was like, you do need to calm down. She was like, but they were asking me questions. So at this point, we walking down the street. She tried to like walk around me and I was like, explain like what is the problem, because not that I'm trying to like chase you, but I'm like, you gotta tell me what the hell that was, because what was that? Because that was a mess. She's like, you're not listening, they were asking me questions, I didn't know where you were, and we have to check out, like it's time for us to check out. I was like, we weren't late to the checkout. She was like, but I didn't know where you were and you're talking about why am I calling you. I was like, first of all, I didn't say why are you calling me. I asked, did you call me? Because I'm in the elevator and I didn't pick up your call, you know, and it says that there was a missed call, and I'm like, as I'm trying to explain all this, she like kind of crashing out, you know, it's giving very much mental breakdown in the middle of this. So I'm trying to logically explain to her that there's nothing in this interaction that calls for you to be acting the way that you acting. So if you mad about something else, like now's the time to say it. I was like, we both grown women, like we could talk about it. And before I can even finish that sentence, she was like, what do you mean you're the only grown woman? She was like, so you're trying to say that you're the only grown woman? Like we can't both be grown women? I'm like, it was really like emotionally draining. Like at this, like I'm in the moment, I'm kind of like trying not to laugh, but it was also kind of like draining. Like, what is going on? I'm like, the last thing I need is to be out here in a heated confrontation as a black woman in a foreign country over something that doesn't make sense in the first place. I don't need those type of problems at all. I didn't come out here to get in any type of physical altercation with anybody, especially not the person that I planned this trip with, especially not somebody that I've known for 8 years and used to live with. So I'm just like genuinely concerned. I was irritated and like trying not to laugh, but at the same time I was genuinely concerned. She's still talking about like the checkout time, and they're questioning her at the desk, and we needed to check out right away so that we don't get charged. And I'm trying to explain to her, I'm like, Coco, I used to work in hotels and I've done more than enough traveling in different hotels in Spain and everywhere else, and there is no hotel that's going to charge you for being a minute late. First of all, we weren't even late, but I'm just like, nobody is late, nobody is getting charged anything, and if they do charge anything, it would be charged to my card. I'm just trying to like articulate and break down like that's not how checkout times work. And then she's like, I don't care about the checkout time. I'm like, so what do you care about? What is this about? Like, do you want to go to the, I was like, do you want to go to the front desk and we could talk? Like, you saying that they questioning you. I'm like, if they giving you a problem, like we could talk about it. And then she cuts me off again and she's like, why? So you can prove me wrong so you can make me look like I'm wrong? I'm like, it's giving you wrong. And at this point, I just put my hand over my mouth and started laughing because I'm like, what the? Like, Coco, this is, and I say this out loud, I'm like, Coco, this is my worst fear playing out, which is another trip going left, you know, over nothing. I was like, you literally just witnessed me talk about my experience with a weird girls trip. And here we go having this. I'm like, what is this? Like, I'm trying to really resolve this. Like, I'm like, and so she's like, I don't want to talk anymore. You got to check out the minute that the checkout time is. And so I don't know if she was just running out of stuff to say, but you know, it got quiet and I was like, Coco, you don't. And then she paused and I don't know if she just didn't know what to say back, but she was like, you do. I was like, you don't. So if this is about something else. And before I could finish that sentence, Coco kind of like runs down the street and she's like, I don't want to talk anymore, and just starts like speed walking down the street. And I'm just like standing there like it's not, the situation is not funny, but like the unhinged randomness of it all, I'm just like the way that I could not take that situation seriously, it probably pissed her off even more. But I'm like, if I give any other reaction, you definitely not gonna like that either. I am not a fan of heated confrontation. If we do get into any type of heated interaction, let it be over something serious, because this was just too unserious. Like, I could not take it seriously, for real, y'all. I just couldn't. And I promise you, at this point, if it was anybody else, I would have made the trip a solo trip right then and there. But you know, Coco runs off to the island somewhere, and I'm just like, I'm not chasing her. You know, we gonna see each other anyway, because we got a flight together, you know, a few hours later. But you know, at that point I was just like drained and hungry. I was like, okay, whatever. You know, I went out to brunch and went to go shop, get some souvenirs and stuff like that. But during that time, I'm talking to my mom and my family, and at this point explaining to them, I'm like, Coco was acting like she lost a complete mind. And I explained the situation to my family, and you know, right away they always come up with their theories. Thing that my mama asks is, you know, like, was she drunk or on any type of substance? And I'm like, I don't know nothing about that, Mom. Like, I didn't see her drink nothing. I didn't see her snort nothing. You know, we literally just got up and checked out the hotel. Like, that's all we had time to do. Like, I didn't see nothing about no substances or anything like that. I explained, like, you know, how the whole energy of the trip was from day one. Then they were like, well, maybe she just wanted to meet with someone and didn't know how to say that. And I'm like, we grown. Like, what? She could have just said that if that was the case. Like, we both grown. Like, she didn't have to do all of that. I don't know. So fast forward, it's time for us to fly back to Barcelona, and all the way up until the airport, I did not see Miss Coco, and I wasn't gonna reach out to her because I'm like, okay, maybe this space was needed. She clearly frustrated about something, and I'm clearly, you know, tired of her frustration being projected onto me. So I didn't see Coco till it was time for us to get on the plane. You know, I get on the plane, I board, she's there, and you know, she moved over even for me to get in my seat. We sitting on the plane, it didn't take off yet, and I could see, you know, right away she don't want to make no eye contact with me. She don't want to say nothing. She getting ready to give me the silent treatment, and I'm just like, hi. We close to 30 and you even closer, and you think you got to sit next to me and give me the silent treatment? No. Hello. And I didn't care who on that plane heard me. I was just like, hi. And you know, she laughed, and I'm like, okay, you want to talk about what that was now or later? And she's like, we're gonna embarrass ourselves on this plane. I'm like, I'm not embarrassed or nothing, but we can talk about that later. Like, it's been a long day. I'm glad you're safe. Cool. And you know, we giggle about it, whatever. But I'm still just uneasy. Like I said, if this was anybody else, like this would have been a solo trip a long time ago. I would even change my seat. Like, just no. And so after that flight, we even ride back to the hotel together. She did mention this the day before, that she was going to meet up with another guy off the app when she got back to Barcelona. I'm not the pussy police, I don't care. So we get back, you know, I grab food, she grabs food from somewhere else. So she go meet up with guy number 3. I get in the bed, but I'm texting my mama. I'm like, I just don't have a good feeling about this. Like, I don't know. My mother tells me, she was like, well, lock the door and make sure that she don't bring a man to y'all room. And I text my mom back. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. You know, Coco paid her half for this room. It is her room. But if she is crazy and disrespectful enough to just bring a random stranger up here to the room, I'll leave right then and there, and I'll keep you on the phone with me, because we're not doing that, period. So I leave the door. You know, I didn't lock the door or lock her out. I'm like, I'm not gonna lock Coco out the room. And so a few hours later, I kind of like wake up out my sleep, and she's like, she come in, you know, she don't bring no dude up there. She ain't crazy. She come in, she falling around everything and kind of having an attitude about falling and tripping over my stuff. But I'm like, the room was not that big anyway. I actually didn't even put this room in a vlog. This is also just a sign that I've grown out of sharing hotel rooms with people. If it's not my man or a close family member, I can't do it. But you know, she come back in falling over stuff. I'm like, okay, you know, it's good, she's safe. Cool. The next day is the day we threw a bunch of things on the itinerary to check out in Barcelona. A lot of landmarks and, you know, just museums and stuff like that. I wake up, it's almost in the afternoon, and I still didn't eat nothing. So I stepped out to go get breakfast, and Coco was still just sleeping the day away. But I text Coco and I'm like, hey Coco, I'm gonna go grab food. Let me know if you want to meet up later. By the time Coco opened that message, it's 1:30 in the afternoon. I don't know if she did that on purpose or whatever the case may be, but by that point, I already, got some breakfast, did a museum tour. I'm just sticking to the plan, literally sticking to the plan, sticking to the itinerary that we made. I'm like, at some point, she gonna meet me, through the day. I'm like, she wanted to sleep. Finally, when she texted me back, she was like, oh, I was just cramping. I just couldn't get up this morning. All right, I'm already at the museums and stuff like that. I didn't fly over here to waste my money and waste the day away. I'm like, I'm not gonna lay up in here with you like you my man. So, I stepped out. But she's like, yeah, I'm getting ready to go to the Basilica. And I was already headed that way anyway. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna be in the same area. And so I text her back. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. We're gonna run into each other. I'm like basically just, checking to see where she at, just communicating through the day. We both in the same area at this point, and I text her that I'm there. But mind you, Coco is taking forever to act like she's seeing my text. This whole conversation is happening on Snapchat, by the way. So I could tell when she opens, the messages and stuff like that. And I just started taking pictures on my own, or just asking people to take pictures of me. Like, it's giving solo trip. I only hung around in that area because Coco said that she was gonna be there, but she taking forever to text back. So it started, just getting rainy, and my eyes are bothering me. But I'm still, communicating with Coco, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna head back. I haven't been to the bathroom. I've been out walking around all day. So we talked about this before, going to a flamenco show, and we just never got tickets. So I text and send Coco a message, and I'm like, hey, I'm getting ready to order my ticket for the flamenco show. Like, you want me to order yours? And Coco messaged me back, and she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were doing your own thing. I was getting ready to meet up with the guy from yesterday. Like I said, I am not the pussy police, but communication, at this point, I feel like Coco is low-key like playing games. Like, you sleeping a day away. I'm like, you crashing out, you acting weird, you diverting the plans. And I'm like, and now you intentionally pretending like this was all part of the plan. Throughout this day, I was already, just messaging my family like, I don't have a good feeling about, the dynamic between me and Coco on this entire trip. Like, I don't understand what her objective is. I don't understand like her behavior. Me trying to, communicate and figure out what was wrong with her the day before, that went left. Now this whole day I still haven't seen her, and only because she was somebody that I've known for a long time. Like, my intentions were to meet up with her later and for us to talk, like to genuinely talk, because like I said, I don't like to sweep stuff under the rug. And at this point, I feel like you intentionally avoided me. So at that point, when she was like, sent the message like, oh, I'm sorry, I just thought you wanted to do your own thing, I messaged back to Coco. I'm like, now Coco, I promise you I'm not trying to start an argument, but what makes you think that I flew 8 hours from Chicago to join you on a trip to do my own thing? I ain't even mad that you got your own plans, but I'm glad that I asked. Like, communication is important. To be real with you, the energy has been off. There's a serious conversation that we need to have, and I feel like you just purposely avoiding that. Oh my God. Why she texted me back and she was like, well, if you value communication so much, you wouldn't have left this morning without saying a word. And I'm not interested in communicating anymore, but I'm not afraid of saying anything to you. And I established that yesterday. I was like, I was staring at that message like, what's the little meme where New York is like, I didn't even know where to start on this message. One, me communicating and telling you that I'm going to breakfast while you pretty much are pretending to be asleep, which is very obvious at this point. You pretending to be asleep in the bed and sleep the whole day away. And me communicating to you that, hey, I'm gonna go grab food, let me know if you want to meet up later. That is communication. Meanwhile, you crashing out, acting weird, running down the street the day before, then the next day you in the bed pretending to be asleep. If anybody is failing to communicate, baby, it's you. And you saying that you're not afraid of communication, then what was the point of, what was that yesterday? You ran down the street. You didn't establish anything. I was like, nothing was established. I'm lost. Above all that, I am very, very lost on the unnecessary gangster energy in this text that she sends back to me. And I'm lost on why she was directing it at me. Why? And since you're so tough, why you ain't use this on the hoe that spit on you? That's another thing, y'all. It was a day that we were walking around Barcelona, and you know how like every city has like their street hustlers, and Coco don't have no street smarts, but we taking our selfie, and this lady dressed as a clown like jumps into our selfie. My reaction was to walk away, but you know, Coco's still standing there like entertaining the lady or whatever, and I'm just like, okay. And she asks, you know, to take a picture of us, and so I'm already like but I take one look at how this lady is built, and I'm like, ain't no way she could run off with my phone. Ain't no way she faster than me. No shade, but it ain't happening. This hoe can't run faster than me. Whatever. So she take pictures of us. She snap a few pictures of us, and then she goes to Coco. I guess because Coco looked, you know, like European. She goes and like asks Coco for a tip in Spanish. Coco don't know what, you know, the lady is saying. So I explained to her, I'm like, look, we just got here. We didn't get a chance to convert our cash or anything like that. Like, I don't have no tip for you. And Coco was confused on why she was even asking for a tip. I was too, because I'm like, what exactly is your trick, your talent? Like, I don't got nothing against street hustlers or any, you know, whoever, anybody that's getting money, but what is your talent? I'm like, you didn't do anything, you didn't show us anything, you didn't do a backflip, you didn't juggle nothing. Like, Coco ain't bring no cash, so I get a lady like a US dollar. I don't know how much she expected to get. You know, I give her $1 to get out of Coco's face, and she looks at it like real like mad and salty, and then she like looks at the ground or whatever and spits on the ground. But the spit, she tries to spit on the ground, but the spit just rolled down like her chin, and I'm just like, okay, are you a horse? Like, I don't know. That was nasty. I don't know what that was supposed to be, but I was just like, okay, bye ma'am. And for the rest of the day, Coco was saying that the spit got on her. I didn't see no spit fly on nobody. You know, it definitely ain't fly on me, because I wouldn't even been able to make this video, because they would have just been pulling me up off this lady. So the spit definitely didn't get on me. But Coco was like traumatized for the rest of the day, saying that the spit got on her. And so through this whole like gangster interaction that she trying to do with me throughout the trip, I'm just like, why you ain't get tough with the bitch that spit on you? On that unnecessary, you know, hostile text that she sent back, I'm just like, ew, Coco, like what is wrong with you? I'm like, what was up until this point? I'm just like, what was the point of me being here? Like, I'm already like irritated. Like, I don't got nothing against being in Spain, but I'm like, I could have saved this for a place that I never been to before. Really, the only reason I came out here is because you reached out to me and said that this is where you wanted to go. Like, why was my presence required, and why are you giving me this stank energy and attitude? I don't understand where this energy is coming from. I don't know what's wrong with you. I don't know why you acting like this. This is sad. I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're not about to drain me. I don't get it. I don't know why you acting like this. She didn't respond to any of that stuff that I said, but instead she sends a text back, and she's like, thanks, well, you owe me $14. No, she said, you owe me 13 euro, which is like $14. It's like, you owe me 13 euro, so let me know how you want to send that back. I cussed her out. Up until this point, like, I feel like I was very, 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 very patient, but I don't know where the $13, 13 euro came from. Low-key, she was a little off. It was technically like 11 euro, like between like the different things, like where I would use my card, or she used her card, you know, one of us swipe for the taxi or swipe for a dinner or something like that. So that was like probably like an 11 euro difference, but that's neither here nor there. You want me to crash out because you crashing out, clearly that's what you looking for. But you know, I sent her a little read for filth. Even if I did have those screenshots, I probably wouldn't show them, because I said some very not nice words. But basically what I said was on the line of, you know, I talked about, you know, her desperate behavior, her very delusional behavior. I told her that, you know, wherever this you know, 13 euro that she was looking for, she could pretty much just charge it up to the hotel room that she was gonna have to herself for the remaining 2 days there. And I was just gonna get another hotel. Like, I'm not even gonna ask you to reimburse me because I know you ain't got it. You want to call this a L, go ahead and call it a L. You've been taking L after L this whole time, so, you know, take this little money and you could thank me for, you know, having a room to whoever. I don't know, my mouth just went in a hole. Like, once I lose my patience, like, anything can come out of my mouth, and that's where I was at. So I ain't even gonna get into what I said, but basically it was a big. So at this point, you know, my family is like, Kelsey, stop entertaining that. Like, you got the money to leave that situation, and if you don't, we'll send you more. It's time to go. Like, we don't need you getting in any type of interaction or altercation about nothing, because you still don't even know what this girl is mad about. So I'm like, yeah, y'all right. Like, I was already just turned off. Like, I didn't even want to be in that room even before this whole weird thing. But I'm like, at this point, you definitely itching for some type of negative reaction from me. Why do you want that? And this is the hotel that I put in the vlog, the Grand Hyatt Barcelona. And so I just checked into the Grand Hyatt Barcelona, and it was so pretty. Like, and immediately I take a nap because it was a long day, saw a lot of landmarks, did a lot, and just the whole foolery from Coco, it low-key kind of drained me a little bit. But, you know, I took me a little nap. I woke up refreshed. You know that feeling that you feel after you just cuss somebody out for playing in your face, and then you just feel refreshed, like. So I finished that night out. I finally get to dress up, put on my little heel, and go to the Flamingo show. It was awesome. It was amazing. The next day, which was the last day, I finished and did the Game of Thrones tour. And maybe that's just how it was meant to be, because Coco wasn't even a Game of Thrones fan, and so she wouldn't have like understood the significance of the places that I was going on that last day of the trip. So I got a completely different travel bucket list to see the different places where Game of Thrones was filmed, and I was excited that I got to, you know, check that off my list. Like, it was really dope, really interesting, and all of this is in the vlog. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan, check out Girona. It's really beautiful. So fortunately, like, as far as Spain was concerned, I ended that trip on a good note. But when it comes to Miss Coco, that was the end of that friendship. And it's not just about, you know, that last little argument that we had, or that other random argument that we never addressed in Ibiza, but I feel like I just kind of like outgrown her. I don't have a grudge against Coco because there was nothing to be mad about in the first place. But as far as continuing a friendship, like, I don't see the point in doing that. I was just lost on why my presence was required on that trip in the first place. Like, why present this trip as an opportunity for me to recover from another weird girls trip just for you to be even weirder? I forgive you, but why? Like, and we never did figure out why. I never did figure out what was the point. I never figured out what was the seriousness in this mission to meet these random men. I never understood that. I'm like, it can't be for money because there was no money involved. It can't be for love. I'm like, your husband is clearly not here. And, you know, it can't, I don't know if it was for sex, because I'm like, you don't have to do that much to find sex as a woman. Like, I didn't understand it. I don't know what the goal was. Never understood why I needed to be there, why she was acting the way she was acting, why she was upset with me. I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand the logic behind it. I didn't understand the app. I didn't understand. I just couldn't understand it. I'm not the one. I don't deserve that. I didn't fly out here for that. That was a very long flight, and that's an 8-hour flight and an 8-year friendship. Why me? In so many ways, like, my safety, my peace, my freedom, just so many things, just by being around Coco was being compromised just by being next to her energy. And I think that was like that negative gut feeling that I was feeling the whole time that I was with her. I'm like, I don't have a good feeling about this. I'm like, I don't know if this girl gonna get me kidnapped. I don't know if she gonna get me locked up for going upside her head. I don't know. And even if it don't go that far, I'm like, it's just low vibrational, very draining, very low vibrational, because you know that was a hot mess. You know it was. And it is what it is. Like, child, So Coco disappointed me, but Spain did not. So definitely check out the full actual Spain vlog. And I got other positive, lit, fun girls trips, which is nothing but good vibes and mature vibes, true girls that look out for each other, even if that was our first time meeting each other. So you'll see some of those on my channel too. Definitely check those out too. I got good girls trips, I got messy girls trip stories. I'm still at a stage where I'm still trying to figure out what I want this channel to actually be about. Like, I don't know if I want it to be just fully about travel, if I want to make it more gossipy, or if I want to start putting outfits together and get a little girly and makeupy on here. I don't know. I'm still kind of deciding like what exactly I want this channel to fully give. Like, or do I want it to be stories? Because, you know, I write for a living. I'm also a writer. But like, even though I'm not done with my 20s, I got so much that I could say about my 20s. I'm a black woman born and raised on the south side of Chicago. I'm double degree. I own my own home. I have a lot of stories about travel that I could share. And I also just recently survived 2 strokes at the age of 28 caused by my birth control, one that affected a significant portion of my vision. And I'm saying this so casually, but you know, and this stroke just happened. I'm not gonna cry in this video, but you know, this stroke just happened less than a month ago. So I look nothing like what I've been through. When I say I got just so many stories just all around, I don't know what I want this channel to be about, but while I figure it out, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like this video, and I hope you click that subscribe button and just join this journey with me. I hope you like this video. I hope you check out some other videos. I hope you check out that full Spain blog, and just stay tuned for whatever is next while we figure that out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see y'all again in my next video.